Welcome to Politico Voice of the World, where we dive into diverse political views and global insights. Today, we explore the latest U.S. tariffs that will take effect on April 2nd, targeting electronics, steel, textiles, and the automotive sector to protect domestic industries. President Donald Trump is scheduled to announce these tariffs today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 2000 GMT, during an event in the White House Rose Garden. These tariffs are expected to take effect immediately following the announcement. These tariffs aim to address the significant trade deficits the U.S. has with major economies. China. The U.S. goods trade deficit was approximately $295.4 billion. European Union, EU. The U.S. goods trade deficit was about $198.2 billion, 198.2 billion euros. Mexico. The U.S. goods trade deficit was approximately $171.8 billion. Canada. The U.S. goods trade deficit was around $63.3 billion. The Yale Budget Lab estimates that the auto tariffs could raise roughly $600 billion to $650 billion over a period of 10 years, averaging about $60 to $65 billion annually. Furthermore, reports indicate that the administration is considering a 20% universal tariff on most imports, which could potentially generate up to $600 billion annually. These tariffs are already impacting global economies. In the automotive sector, major exporters like Germany and Japan are reassessing strategies. China is considering counter-tariffs on U.S. agriculture, while the EU explores legal actions. The European Union is contemplating imposing taxes on U.S. digital services as a countermeasure to the tariffs introduced by President Donald Trump. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stated that the EU has a strong plan to retaliate against these U.S. tariffs, with potential measures targeting U.S. services, including those provided by major tech companies. This strategy could involve actions such as suspending certain intellectual property rights and excluding U.S. firms from public procurement contracts. India and Japan are adopting a wait-and-watch approach, and the UK is focusing on strengthening other trade partnerships. Meanwhile, countries like South Korea and Mexico are engaged in bilateral trade discussions with the U.S. to mitigate the impact. Stock markets have reacted sharply, with U.S. steel stocks rising by 5%, automotive stocks facing uncertainty, and tech companies seeing a 3% decline. U.S. stock market, the S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite have recently concluded their worst quarter since 2022, with declines of approximately 5% and 10% respectively. Overall, markets are treading cautiously as they await the official details of the new tariffs, with investors bracing for potential significant impacts on global trade and economic growth. In summary, these tariffs may slow global GDP by disrupting trade flows, raising production costs, and impacting economic growth. Thanks for watching. If you found this informative, don't forget to like, share, and comment below with your thoughts. Subscribe for more updates on global events and political